just to give you an example, financial services. We are doing organically growing, making acquisitions, growing across countries, coming up with new products and services. Great. That's something which I can, discuss with my operating team and we can get that thing done. But then coming up, looking at the trend of where neo-banking, digital banking is now coming up and getting on that train at the right time, that's a strategic play game. And that happens with a lot of, it requires a lot of research. It requires a lot of meeting with people, talking to people, understanding the various governance policies in different countries, understanding the consumer perspective from it. And that's how I launched NBank. And NBank today, is doing phenomenally well. NBank tomorrow is the future of banking. Is it today? No. 5 years, it will be. Similarly, every sector you go that way. Now, one of the sectors we were not was mobility, electric vehicles. We saw that the whole world was shifting towards energy play, where more and more prices of oil and gas was going up. Electricity, our own country's electricity production was going up. The duty tariff structures were more favorable. And for us, it was a no-brainer because there was no one who was bringing in pure EV vehicles. We saw an opportunity and we saw that in future it could be huge. It connects directly with our aspirations of getting into telecom. And then you have the entire IoT, Internet of Things. We are already into real estate. We are already into consumer durables. We are already into fintech. We are in telecom as a backbone. Mobility sooner or later will start having driverless cars, which will be run on data of ours. So unless you understand the larger narrative, and that's where the plug and play happens, that's how I decide what I want to do.
Now, internet ko kura garda with the telecom thing, where is ke bhayirahcha ta yo progress?
Jesus, this will require hamrai ajai 1-2 ghanta lagcha. So in short, we got our approvals long time ago. We acquired a company 10 years ago to get into telecom. That time Encel was there. It was owned by a Swedish company, Scandinavian company. There were 4 more licenses given. One to a company that was doing CDMA that I don't think ever wanted to operate the company. The second license was given to a company called Smart, which they've had 7-8 years. They owe the government almost 30 arb jati.
I think they're short recently.
Yeah, they're not short. They owe the money. They owe the government 30 arb. Okay, how is the government going to get this 30 arb? Why did they do that? Purely because they wanted to block CG from coming in. They're not going to do it. They're going to block the spectrum. CG is not going to come in. Sooner or later, they will merge with one of the big guys. Similar strategy was with Hello Nepal. They got kicked out of the club. License cancelled. Spectrum gone. But what those guys don't understand that I don't need those spectrums anymore. If 5 years from ago I wanted to launch a 4G ready network, I needed those spectrums and there wasn't any. Today, if I want to launch a 5G ready network, I'm looking at a different bandwidth altogether where no one is. So my spectrum is not a problem. While I was stopped from various parties on policy level, approval level, regulatory level, different ministers coming in, we had that spat with Gokul Bhaskota as well. I mean, I did a press conference. He was going on taking other companies' name and trying to mislead the public. So that's when our group chairman also said, if we are launching, we're going to be launching free voice, free SMS, only data. We'll be doing it at 50% of the price what you're paying today. Communication is no longer luxury, it's a necessity. We were not even allowed to do that. But what we could do, and we did, was FTTH, ISP. You remember a year and a half ago when we launched CGNet?
Yeah.
I mean, one Facebook post disrupted the market. Our penetration rate of ISP was 18%, it's 32% today. If someone was paying $2,000 for a 50 Mbps, today people are paying probably $500 for a 300 Mbps.
Across all internet providers.
How did that happen? Yeah. Because a disruptor came in. But is that my business? Not really. I'm building a backbone for my telecom as and when it comes. I'm still waiting. It's been 11 years. I'm still waiting for a few approvals to come. The day that comes, there's no stopping. I am going to be the third player. I am going to be the number one player. And I'm going to bring in data, access to data, affordable data, which is going to transform another set of economy. E-commerce, e-health, e-education, e-agriculture. What Jio did in India.
Yeah.
You know, today, I mean, chawala dekhi lera, pasalwala, everyone does his business using data because data is affordable. Does the same thing happen in Nepal? No, because it's the most expensive data and average revenue per user in South Asia. Companies are working on a 70%, 60% gross margin. We are still paying for our voice calls. We are still paying for SMSs. Who does that? So now my frustration level is not about not letting me come in, but the frustration level is that the consumers are getting fooled. The consumers are paying these ridiculous prices. It's so unfair. I've gone to the extent of telling regulators, give me a year. Let me run it. If I don't, take my license back. Other people are running for 7-8 years. Have you taken their license back? No. Have you taken the spectrum back? No. They owe the government. They owe our government. Spectrum is a national resource. They owe our government 30 arba. Who's going to recover that money? Let me see. So you have these intricacies and challenges, but at the same time, there's opportunity. And you know the first question, how your day goes? My day goes in managing stuff like this.
Do you think there will be a day when internet companies sign in and we can solely rely on SIM card with 4G, 5G data?
Of course. That's
and it is not, the price is not based on the data used, but then like internet zone हामीले use गर्छौँ, like
of course
monthly यति भनेर.
That's what quadruple play is. पहिला dual play हुन्थ्यो, triple play हुन्थ्यो. Now we're getting into the age of quadruple play. What is that? That means if I'm giving you your phone, okay, no charge on unlimited voice free, SMS free, data at a very, very low price. The same data converges to you don't need a router anymore, okay? Because if I'm running a 5G ready network, I don't need a router anymore. Then my entire home, everywhere, there's 5G nodes where you are seamlessly connected to your internet. The same package you are able to watch OTT, not IPTV, not your conventional IPTV box, but you're able to watch worldwide information channels using OTT platform. Like Netflix is one of them, Amazon is one of them. But imagine aggregating all of that and you having hundreds of channels and OTT platforms to work with through one system. Okay. Number 4 is you have your OTT platforms for entertainment. You have your in-house broadband internet. You have your broadband data on your phone. But now we are going the other way forward where your entire home is run on data and the technology. Today I'm able to calculate my energy conservation on my AC to when my refrigerator runs, to how my TV runs, to my blinds in my home. You know, all that is run through the internet of IoT, Vansani. Yeah. So that's quadruple play. But will it happen soon? It's already happening in most of the world. Will it happen soon in Nepal? I don't think so. Why? Not because the technology doesn't exist. Because of 2 reasons. Number 1, there is no company providing that 5G ready network. Number 2 is, if I buy a 5G ready phone, costs are too expensive. But in 2 years' time, that same cost of the phone will become 1/4. So then affordability also. People will have access to afford to buy a 5G phone. And once that happens, dynamics of the industry and the economy will change. Industrial automation will start happening. And we don't have to wait another 20 years. I'm talking about in the next 10 years, all this is going to happen. So I'm you know, in my company, I'm known as the eternal optimist. You know, everyone's looking at the worst case scenarios. I'm like, no, I'm always looking at the best case scenarios. And that's why I have a great team, you know, who's always sort of holding me down. Hey, let's not get too excited. You know,
counterbalance, kind of
like. Yeah, and that's needed as well. That's needed as well.